got somebody to look at me. Or Jill. Me, Charlie, or Jill, just look at us.
Yeah. Question.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Fred.
Nobody falls.
None of your wives.
No, please, please, please.
Yeah. Question came up as to whether the resignation tonight was submitted tonight. It's not time for the agenda.
It is not a time.
So it can wait until, you can wait until it's the next one.
Oh, did we?
Can wait until it's the meeting.
Okay.
But,
Was that the meeting that was at? Oh, okay.
but you want to know, it's
June the
I
ninth.
want to go with it.
Oh, okay.
Especially for the primary.
Hello. Yeah.
Okay, are you behaving?
Well, now you're sitting between us two, we're tough.
Thanks, Joe.
My report.
Look at your face. Look at you. You're in trouble.
Yeah, she knows it all. She's seen it all, done it all. Don't mess with her.
Oh, no?
I know. What is the question?
I know, I want to go somewhere else in the back.
That's not, I would say that's not a question. I think it's fine. Something to bring up. It's mostly yours. Okay, yeah, that's great. Yeah. That, I mean, something is choir, it's down.
I would pound it.
It's nothing I have. It's too late to customize. You're supposed to also.
Can you get it on the dot and there on the dot?
And you don't have to.
Look at
Nice and pretty. Called meeting to order. Pledge the flag. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Art is not here. Ms. Cook?
Present.
Ms. Eisenhart?
Here.
Ms. Falcone?
Here.
Ms. Hassler?
Here.
Ms. Pummer? Mr. Stocklet? Mr. Miller?
Here.
You have a quorum.
I'd like to mention the meeting is being recorded tonight and broadcast on the internet.
Okay, is there anyone other than the secretary who's recording this meeting? Okay, appears there's none. Also, there was an executive session held on April 21st, 2025, and at 6:30 tonight prior to this meeting, both regarding personnel matters. Okay, minutes is next.
There will be an update on the minutes during my report. At this time, there are none ready for approval.
Okay. Communications, Turner to Stacy.
Stacy, Communications.
We received a letter from Steve Klein from the Topton Volunteer Fire Company, number 1. He is requesting a few items. The first is to hold the trunk or treat on Home Avenue on October 31st, or just like trick or treat would be usually, from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. with a shutdown of home starting at 5:30 and hopefully reopening at 8:30. So allowing us to use our no parking signs to shut down the street and to allow the event itself. He is requesting for council's approval.
I'll make a motion to approve that.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, the next item that Mr. Klein is asking for is for approval to borrow for the TCOC Halloween Parade, the LVHN trailer that has been used the past few years.
No, I'll make a motion to approve the trailer.
I'll second.
Any discussion or questions? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries.
The next item in conjunction with that TCOC Halloween parade is to ask for fire police help from other municipalities and departments, fire departments, and pay them $50 a person for that night if they do volunteer to be fire police.
That's per person?
That is-
I didn't see that in there.
He does it very generally, but that is per person, per fire police person.
I'll make a motion to approve that.
I'll second.
Any discussion?
Will we still be providing our police? Because we, for the parade, we had in our budget extra money for additional police coverage. Is that, would we still do that?
They-
Or is that? will we
They
do
are
that?
still, we're still under agreement with Fleetwood Police, so whoever is available will attend.
I thought that was an extra thing that if we decided to do. So we wouldn't have to have our police if they have the fire.
If you don't want them,
I think the idea of the fire police is to provide traffic control
Yes.
and.
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
fire
okay,
police
okay.
is traffic
Okay,
security.
I just wanted to make sure.
especially at the closed street
Yeah,
Okay,
signs.
so that's just for that other stuff.
And I believe we had voted $60 additional for the parade for police coverage.
It was
Last year?
6,100, it was 61.
6,100?
Oh, the
Right,
total
in
amount,
total,
the total
yeah.
amount.
Okay, that was recently, so this, now we're going.
$50 per person.
This is just for the fire police. This isn't for
Yeah.
TCOC and it's not for Fleetwood
This
Police.
is just fire police.
Yeah.
So the fire company's paying out of their revenues for them, the $50 per person, or where's that money coming from?
They don't get any revenues. That would be out of our
So-
general fund.
Yeah,
budget.
Right, because we collect money for fire, use, fire.
That would not come out of the fire tax.
We pay it, Borough pays it.
Okay, so do we know what we're committing to? How many dollars here are we committing to?
Maximum number.
Like
What was it, 3 or 4 last
Yeah,
year?
it was very few.
Yeah, it's not.
And the year before, I think, was one.
Yeah,
You had
there-
3 last year and 1 the year before.
it's not a lot.
Okay, so I just want to know what we're committing to, that's
Yeah.
all. So we're
I would-
talking
I would
maybe
expect-
$300.
Yeah, I would expect under $500.
Yeah, I can't imagine it would be more than that.
If we were to amend this to say not to exceed,
Not to exceed, okay, would you amend the motion not to exceed $500?
Yeah,
Do you agree with
I'll
that?
amend it, yeah.
And Carol, do you also
Yes,
agree to that?
yes.
Okay.
discussion finished? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carries.
The next request is from the Legion. Annually, they have a Memorial Day parade, and it's this year on the 26th. Oh, sorry, 24th at 6 p.m. Sorry to transpose. They want to temporarily close the parade route, which is attached in council's packets. And they use the route to go to and hold the ceremony, and then they use the same route to go back. It's temporary. Our staff would put no traffic. They'll put
They usually
blocks,
barricade.
barricades and things like that, and make sure nobody goes there.
I'll make a motion to approve that.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries.
And then the final request is from the group that is running the car show this year. It's on July 20th, and they request to close North and South Callowhill Street and Oak Alley, starting at 10 a.m. through 10 p.m., just to allow cars to come in, park, and have ability to stay and then leave.
I'll make a motion.
Scott, you got
You seconded it?
Do you have any questions or discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Mayor's report.
One thing I got is the Teacocks had their fishing rodeo last weekend. Another great day, a lot of kids down there pulling out a lot of nice fish, so well done to the Teacocks. That's all I got.
Police report.
Hi, Hi, Sergeant Tom Folk with Fleetwood. And in April, we had 18 incidents we either responded to or had a request for a call. We handled 1 crash investigation. We issued 12 traffic citations, made 2 criminal arrests, investigated 3 UCR reportable crimes, total of 18 traffic stops. We had 5 hours of criminal investigator follow-up on cases, 3 hours of court time, and in April, we took reports in Topton for a weapons offense, a DUI, and harassment. Charges were filed for the weapons offense. One person was not to possess or attempt to possess a firearm. The DUI arrest was a result of a car driving under the railroad tracks at South Home and Center Avenue. The harassment case is a result of a fight involving juveniles at the Borough Park. Charges are still pending in that case. The citation breakdown, 3 parking citations, which would have resulted as 3 unpaid or non-responding to parking tickets. So 3 citations for that, 5 speeding citations, 2 obedience to traffic control citations, 1 driving under suspension citation, and 1 expired inspection citation. As far as personnel matter, currently we have 2 part-time officers, Kaylin Kress and Joel Avram, have been offered part-time positions. Both are in the final stages of the hiring process and will start training with the department shortly. Both come with prior police experience. 1 additional applicant is currently in the background stage for hiring, and we also got another one who I know him. He's a retired corporal in the state police out of Reading headquarters and everything. He was a patrol corporal, and I guess he's bored now that he's retired. He wants to do some stuff, so hopefully we'll be hiring him shortly as well. So, some of our other part-timers who are working up to 35 hours a week. Officer Beckesy is now starting to collect Social Security, so he can't work as many hours, and another officer is also working more at another department closer to his residence. So, other than that, we appreciate if anyone shared the news about us trying to hire some part-timers, so they're finally coming in. So, any questions about anything or any comments?
Could I ask the juveniles,
Yes.
with charges pending, is the borough manager made aware of the names in a situation like that?
I don't believe for juvenile cases we can give out the names of the juveniles, but I believe that incident was on that other squad, but I remember hearing about it, but I believe that they'll be making some arrests. And obviously if there's problems with juveniles, we'll address it, and they go through juvenile probation and so forth. Sometimes if it's the first time, we'll go through the youth aid panel, which is better for them. But if they're a problem person, who we have reported repeated problems, they'll be charged through the juvenile system as needed.
I was concerned if there's repeats.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
that's
And
part of your
generally,
procedure.
if we do respond and it is a repeat offender, they only get 1 opportunity to go through the youth aid panel.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
I had a question. So several weeks ago, we had an energy company without a permit that came through our borough
Yeah.
trying to solicit business. And I know our manager contacted you about it. You were not servicing the borough at the time they came through. I'd like an update on, you were given the license plate number of the vehicle that was involved in that. Do you have any updates on that?
I can research it. I'm not aware of it per se myself, but I can find out and have the chief or someone respond back.
So that was someone who was with Rushmore Energy, and there was a team of agents, and they refused to comply. 4 different people. Kathy was one of them, Stacy, and myself, and a resident. Explained to them that they were not to solicit without a permit, and they refused to comply with what we stated and continued to go door to door getting information from people to try to sign them up for electricity.
They were shown what our home was to obtain it.
And we had gotten their license and
Okay.
pictures of their identification. And if you have any questions, please call me, and I have some additional information.
Yeah,
I can
I'll
share.
find out who was following up on that. Unfortunately, I know PSP doesn't, even if they would have been handling it at the time, but they don't enforce parking or ordinance laws, violations.
Well, and Stacy, you had said our ordinance was not, that you don't get citation necessarily, they have to go to court, is that what it is, like a district magistrate? has to
Right, in
file?
order for us
That's how
to
it
fine
works.
them.
Right, it'll be a non-traffic citation for this type of,
So
this
I
type
don't know
of
if that's
offense.
something that it's worth following through with that at this point, or not.
Well, we would do it, and for that would have to be within 30 days if they, upon getting information as it's going on, let's say 25 days later, you find out a name, then it starts the 30 days.
We've had that information since the day it happened,
Okay.
so.
Do you have a date for that, just out of curiosity?
I emailed Dale so I can get that
I'll
information.
find it. If he has it, that's.
He has it by email.
I'll make sure someone gets back on that, so.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments or issues they want us to address? Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Take care.
Next is hearing of visitors. Someone want to speak? Yes. Please stand, state your name and address.
All right, Colleen Cristula and Deb Kirby, 58 Coke Avenue, are representing the library. This is our semi-annual report to you. I want to thank you for your support of the library continuing. We have been serving the community for 35 years and are a resource available to everyone. In July of last year, we began a home delivery service to Topton residents, and we're excited to share that we have expanded our home delivery service now to include all 4 townships, District, Long Swamp, Rockland, and Topton. So if you know anyone who would benefit from that service, please reach out. We can share the application. We do have volunteers who are excited to do that. And I believe our publicity went through initially through Meals on Wheels. But if you know anyone, we'd like to expand the program. In addition to the weekly story times, we now offer a Saturday story time twice a month and a technology assistance program. We have Read to a Therapy Dog program and the highly lovable Read to the Sheldon program. We have tween and teen hangouts on Monday nights, movie nights for adults, and Dungeons and Dragons for our teens and tweens. There's something for everyone at the community library. The summer reading program begins June 9th. It is for all ages. It's fun and easy. You set a summer reading goal, you read, and then you complete the goal. You get rewarded. They're working with local businesses now to give gift cards as prizes for the year. The kickoff is Book Bingo on June the 9th, 10:30 and 5:30. In addition to summer reading, we're looking forward to Tortoise Trek and Sheldon's birthday party here in the park in August. And every year around this time, we reach out to the municipalities just to ask if there's any other ways that we can partner with you. So please keep that in mind. Let us know if that's the case. Of course, we are participating with the community days this week. If you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer or get answers for you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay. Solicitor.
Okay, I have several items under my report. The first is 534 Marshall Avenue. Notices have been sent out for the lien. The 30-day notice was sent out because in order to assess attorney's fees and costs, you have to give notice of the lien. So that has been done. So I expect by the next meeting that the lien will have been filed for the amounts past due for 534 Marshall Avenue. 546 Celia Avenue. I spoke with the late owner's daughter. She has consulted with an attorney. I believe that we'll also, I'll look into some additional options as well. It sounds like there are going to be some complications with her because there's more than one family member. Some complications with her opening an estate and working with the property. So I'm also going to work with some additional options from the county Blighted Property Review Committee that might be able to assist in remediating some of the conditions on the property. Meeting with the International Brotherhood of Teamsters, Local 773. I believe that was the April 21st, 2025 executive session. And you see that the amendment of agreement with the volunteer fire company, the fire company is reviewing. I don't believe that status has changed during the month. I have not heard anything. Stacy, you do? Okay, it's with them, so we'll wait to hear from them. And intermunicipal agreements with Luther Meadows and Heilman House with Lutheran Home, that's in progress. Charlie and I are going to meet and go over some items for that. So unless there are any other questions for council, that's my report.
Questions? No. Okay. Borough manager.
The Pliget accounts have been set up for the 3 loans, and they will be used this month for the first interest payments on those loans. The ARPA COVID-19 funding grant report was completed, and now we have this year to spend the remaining money that was committed to the wastewater treatment plant system. The pedestrian crosswalk signs, I believe, are almost completely installed. They've been installed on Henningsville and Hawes, and the last one is home. To add to the portable, but to make it safer at those crosswalks. We finalized the 2024 Consumer Confidence Report, which covers our water system, and submitted that to DEP. I've been working with the Planning Commission Chair on the comprehensive plan and the most recent submission for their July meeting. I met with Scott from Barry Istead Associates to go over the Oak Alley and Callowhill Street projects once they were at 99% completed, so that's almost completed. And we worked with Drew from Barry Istead Associates on a grant application for Keller Street water main replacement project that was submitted end of April. The staff attended CPR and first aid recertification, so I want to give a shout out and thank Steve Klein for offering that training to our staff. Branch pickup has started and now will continue through September, the last Tuesday of every month. Staff has started to prepare for possible supply chain issues. They've been warned, and not just tariffs, but the possibility of tariffs are making things more scarce and more expensive. We're working with PennDOT regarding all the required documentation and forms that must be filed in order to use that that note, that 2025 series note for $1 million for street overlays, working with Charlie Paris on that. And staff are getting ready to make sure that all the work that needs to be done on the streets before you overlay them is done. For example, stormwater pipes, making sure they're ordered and installed. We did receive, thank you, Barry Istead and Associates, for the draft park master plan. It's in review now by council, so that should be on a future agenda for review. The Kutztown pool passes are being requested at our office, so if anyone is interested, this is the last year of our agreement with Kutztown. Quality of life complaints have started to come in now that the season has gotten warmer. So there is also a spreadsheet on our website that you can initiate an anonymous, or you can even say your name on complaints, or you can submit anything on the contact us through the website. PA Rural Water, staff were on site last week to start the GIS mapping of our water lines in the watershed. They're about maybe 60% complete. We're providing them with more maps to help them, but they'll probably be complete maybe by the next council meeting. That'll help us with GIS mapping of all of our utilities. We contacted Norfolk Southern Railroad because they need to clean up the swale areas along the railroad tracks where it dips down because of stormwater, especially near Main Street and Center. We did receive a donation last week. Thank you, donor. Don't know if they want to be named, to rehabilitate the masonry work on the Hope Memorial. Michael Weidman from the Legion and the Scouts will be coordinating all of the work on that. That's my report. And then the update on the minutes. We do have 6 outstanding from 2024, 6 outstanding currently from 25. It'll be 7 once this meeting is over. The volunteer in our community, Diane, is still working on the the January 2025. And then what I'm going to do is devote the rest of May, now that a lot of the deadlines for log reports and the billing has gone out, the newsletter has gone out. So my plan is to try to at least get the majority, 75% done of all the minutes that are outstanding. I do need to get February, especially of this year, because that affects some of our financials with signatures on our checks and our accounts with our banks. Is there any questions on that particular item? And then if council, you do not need to do it tonight, but if you could put it in your mind to start creating the schedule for the 2026 budget, I'd rather get it on the calendar early, so having you guys start thinking about it May and June, and then maybe we can start planning July, August, start early so we can get it done, because there's, as always, a lot to do, but now with loan funds and other discussions.
Julie, you and I want to start working on some things in August already, like the beginning of August?
Sure.
So we want to start?
Sure. See where we at with, where we are with our 2025.
Yes. Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, that'll work for me. Just let me know when.
And then that's all for me, but under my report is also the Planning Commission's letter to council regarding 26 to 32 North Main Street. Julie, would you mind covering that?
Sure. We met with them and the Planning Commission in our April meeting. We made our recommendations for the council, you guys have in front of you. They have since resubmitted their plans, so now there's only 2 lots where there were 3. So they don't need to go to the zoning for a hearing board anymore, so 2 and 3 on your letter are not applicable anymore. But the first one, they'll still need the waiver because the cartway on that alley is 18 inches, or 18 feet, sorry, that would be bad. So it's an 18 feet cartway, and our saldo says it has to be 24, right? Yes, 24. So they just want a waiver to be able to extend that alleyway with the 18 feet that's currently there. So the Planning Commission is recommending to approve that waiver. So that's the only thing that, if you would like to, or it could wait because they have resubmitted plans. And we will be reviewing those plans at our July 9th meeting, so that hopefully we'll be able to have, well, we will have the recommendations for you to review at your July meeting on July 14th.
I would wait, because if the plan's being resubmitted and there are any changes, you gotta look at it in the scheme of those changes, the whole picture, so.
Okay, sounds good.
I have some concerns about the parking.
Right, that's why they reconfigured the lots. So it was lot 1A and 1B, and there's lot 2. So lot 1B is just garages, and they would have gone to the zoning hearing board in order for those garages to be considered as parking only. The zoning officer required 2 parking spots for the 1A, and the property of 2, I think, required 6 or 7. So because of parking, it would have needed to go to the zoning hearing board, but the resubmitted plans have addressed that issue, so.
Where would they be parking on the
Well,
property?
because it's no longer 3 lots, it's 2 lots. So they're gonna be able to count the flower shop will be with those garages, so it would be one property, all of that. And then the other property would just be the house, and that would have 2 parking spots behind it. So it seems more feasible. Hasn't been reviewed yet, but it is different.
All right, thank you.
And that's all I have, Carol.
Okay, thank you. Committee reports, environment and conservation, source water protection plan, municipal separate storm sewer system, MS4. Working, I think I nailed down a new source, hopefully, for some designs for posting on the internet. We try to educate the public all times about the importance of not letting litter or other bad things get into our drinking, not our drinking water, into the stream. And it goes all the way down to the Atlantic Ocean, and it's so important. People don't realize, you don't generally tend to think about it unless you're on a committee that makes you think about it. It's very important, so I think I found a new source that we can be posting on the internet, and also I'm hoping to get a grant still for signs that would be posted to educate people. The Berks County MS4 Steering Committee, Cost Sharing and Corporation Agreement and Resolution. Did anybody get the chance to read that? That was in the packets.
Do we have any idea on what this is gonna cost us? Because there's no information on this,
I noticed that.
and that concerns me.
Getting
out of this concerns me if it's too, and what are the benefits that being in this?
Well, I think they tried to tell you sort of what the benefits were, but I was sent an initial email trying to find out costs. There's an annual fee, how much is that? And then other costs, what would those be? What would that be projected to be? If we're using Berks Nature, are they going to charge us for any education that they help us with? Yeah, in my opinion, we need a lot more information before we do.
Right, there's not, I'm just looking in here quickly, there's nothing that
There's no
says,
numbers
for the
in there.
cost of number 5, it says, municipality shall pay when due the annual membership fees established by the committee from time to time. And, yeah, I think probably you would want to talk to the individual at the county who's responsible for the steering committee to find out what are those costs this year, and what have they been in the past, and is there any formula for their escalation?
Oh, that's good, yeah.
I'll have Christine check also, we represent several municipalities on it, so.
Okay.
Thank you, Charlie. Appreciate that very much. Any other questions on that or thoughts?
And this is just for discussion, right?
Right, yeah, we're just discussing.
We are a part of this right now, right? So when does this have to be signed to continue being a part of the steering committee? Or does that not matter?
Let's see what the term of the
Okay,
agreement is.
because
I believe it's the end of
It's the
June.
term for
Is it
us.
the end of June?
I'm not sure, but I can check on that.
I didn't see it either.
We can get out and then we have an annual,
Yeah, it
interest
doesn't,
re-entrance.
yeah, it doesn't state a term of the agreement.
Yeah, it does ask for at least a year's notice.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that was actually for, I think, not just for the county, but, oh, it's for the participating municipalities.
Right,
right.
Okay, I was thinking it was for the county first.
But it doesn't state a term, whether it's a year-to-year agreement, 2 years, 3 years.
Yeah, we
So
can
again,
find out more.
that would be something to find out.
Stacy, do you know, are these public meetings or only for the people
They're
appointed by the?
semi-public. I believe it's only for the membership.
Yeah.
But other representatives can be named as the member, such as, a council member going in place of the borough manager or,
They got the list from somewhere, because I get notification of
So
it,
do
and
I.
I do MS for it. So I make sure our staff internally knows about it.
Okay. Thank you. Anyone else on that?
any other questions that you want asked? Okay.
I guess benefits and the cost
Okay.
are my main.
Term, I guess.
Right.
Term
The
costs.
main benefit of these agreements is that it helps you to comply with your MS4 responsibilities
Right.
in a cost-effective way. I mean, that's the idea of the agreement. But the question is making sure that the borough can afford the membership.
And what are our costs now, like to comply, like, that's, there's a way you can come up with how much do we actually spend in being
Right,
NSF compliant.
But the thing is that, again, that this spreads out some of those costs among municipalities. So if we had to do each of those elements ourselves, it might be more, so. the
We
key
do
is-
some ourselves already, and this helps us a
Yeah.
lot,
Right,
especially with education and outreach.
yeah, it'd just be good to know how much we're saving or how
Sure.
much benefit we gain.
Okay. Personnel and policy.
First on the list is a nepotism policy. There have been no changes in that. I did not get any emails from anyone that they wanted anything changed, so I'm going to assume, it's very general, so I'm going to assume that's acceptable. And,
Did anyone have problems with or wanting changes?
I emailed you guys,
Yeah, I had already given my comments on it.
well, what we'll do then is, at this point, then we'll just instruct the manager to, look at typos, send this to Joan for her, just get her eyes on it.
Just one final review
Yeah,
of
just,
them.
yeah, so if you could send that out to Joan, and then that, in the next meeting, we would, be on the agenda to approve that. The second item is our wastewater treatment plant open position. We're advertising for that, so we're running ads, there's no updates, as far as the business office on that. So we currently have an ad for that position.
No one supplied.
What's that? I don't know.
No subsequent ones with certifications for
Okay.
wastewater, no.
And then the other position we're hiring for is a part-time administrative assistant, and that ad is running, and are there any, no?
We revised the ad on the website,
Yes.
we revised it on Indeed, and then we're pursuing other locations to advertise.
Okay. And then also, the last item here is, we'd like to give notice to Pinnock to terminate our coverage. That letter has to be sent to them by June 30th. I'd like to make a motion that we send them a letter of termination.
I'll make the motion.
So we have a motion, you're second motion?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Whoever. Any discussion? Questions?
Okay, and the manager will be sending that letter? Okay.
And we have, I missed last meeting, we have a backup then?
Yes, at this point, because we have to give them enough notice, a
Right.
six-month window, we've got to give them, we're discussing that.
Yeah.
But we got an extension last year, we can't get that extension again this year?
We can rescind it if
Yeah, we have to give them notice, we can rescind it
Okay.
until,
Yeah.
I was just getting a little paranoid.
up until November.
It can be rescinded.
Fair.
It's just,
It's notice.
it's okay to be paranoid. It's not paranoid, it's healthy respect.
Okay, there we go. I like that terminology.
Or it can be rescinded.
I can create my report.
Okay. Streets Committee.
You didn't vote.
Yeah, you need to vote.
Oh, no,
I'm sorry, I thought we did.
all in favor of sending the letter to Pinnock?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Julie, did you have anything for streets?
No, I'm good, thank you.
Okay. Finance Committee.
Okay, I would like to make a motion to approve the list of bills and transfers as presented to council.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Questions? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
And that's it.
Community Relations Committee. Carol.
Community report, we held the Tidy Up Topton last week. It was attended by approximately 40 people who participated, and we had collected 10 bags of garbage.
Wow, that's great.
Despite the rain,
Yeah.
we managed to get 10 bags collected. The 150th anniversary, that is coming along real good. The last meeting we had, there were more attendees with different organizations. It was very well attended. And we also had we had a logo contest for the 150th anniversary, and that person was selected. There were quite a few good entries that was selected. It was, what's the name?
Abby Haas.
Abby Haas,
Abby
okay.
Haas.
It's good things
Abby
they
Haas.
know.
And let's see what else. This Saturday, we are having the Community Days event, and that seems to be going along really well. We have 17 vendors who have signed up to participate, and that will be running from 8 until 2. And that's all I've got.
Thank you. The logging of watershed property, I have no status on that. I think they halted until the fall.
Yes, but then today we heard from the actual contractors that they'll be starting up tomorrow.
Oh,
So
okay.
they are very much dependent on the price that they will get for the timber. So there is going to be a harvest sooner again. So temporarily, I'm sorry to say, the watershed is closed during logging because people tend to walk and bring a dog and then let the dog off leash, and we would hate if anything would happen to a person or a pet.
So we have signs to close
We do
off.
have signs, but it's temporary, and we'll be constantly putting that on social media as well as our website.
So the anticipation is kind of off and on, off and on? or-
Yes, so stay tuned.
Stay tuned. The pool and pool parking lot demolition is on hold. The park master plan status, I do not know where that is. Julie?
The draft was submitted. I do have comments from Stacy. If anybody else has comments, we will incorporate those in to make the final product. So I'll get the draft with you for review, and if you can have it, say by the next meeting, so we can finalize it for you to adopt it at the following meeting.
Sounds good. And DCNR funded Oak Alley project with traffic calming, status of the work.
Actually, I have that in my report. They're largely done. We did Stacy was with Scott, the gentleman who's been up and running that project, and they went through, there were a few punch list items found. We also have 2 change orders on that project. It is still within the funding limit that we need approved. The Oak Alley, we had additional signage, and we adjusted out some water line. That's a $1,603.60 change order. And then we have a change order on the street calming, some additional curb, sidewalk, and handicap tiles, and thermoplastic pavement markings were found to be needed. So that's $5,800. Again, we're still within the funding in both projects.
Do we need to take any official action on these
I
changes?
need approval of those change orders, yes.
Okay. My apologies for not including
Oh.
those specifically under the agenda.
I'm fine with including it where it's within the scope of that item, so we don't need to amend the agenda to do it.
Can you do both change orders with one vote?
Now, what was the monetary amount increase on those?
So it's $1,603.60 on the Oak Alley portion, and then $5,800 on the street columns. That brings the street going to $33,000, we hit $60,000. Great.
I'll make a motion to approve those change orders.
I'll second.
Any questions, discussion?
How do we pay for that? Just curious, it's, you know, we look at
It-
Out of the
it-
grant funds.
Out of the grant
it.
funds.
It comes out of the grant.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's grant
Just
money.
wanted to make sure.
Anyone else? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Scott?
We got 58 High Street, it's documented, and the house is condemned. So we have that. And then the potential well location, preliminary water testing at Topton Volunteer Fire Company. To discuss an approval of Barry Eisen Associates, it's $11,000 for the description of the work. I mean, he's here to explain it too, but it's sample the water from like the available wells at the fire company and analyze it, the water for the parameters associated with gun range from the Topton Fishing Game Association and potential gradient of the potential well location. And provide a letter, report documenting the methodology and finding and providing recommendations based on those findings.
So these are, so that we've been working with DEP. What you do to do a well is, it's in there as well construction specifications. You work out with DEP what they're gonna wanna see, and that results in us having the permission to drill a well. We've been hashing it out with them. They're really concerned about the rod and gun property, the clay pigeons, the lead. So that's what they're having us test for here. So the hope is that the results here, we're able to incorporate it in with the other stuff we've given DEP, and they'll give us permission to do the drill. That would be the next step.
How long will that take, Charlie, to get to that testing?
We expect to be able to do the drilling this summer. We're ready to do the testing. Alex will get out the first trip out, and I put it in the engineering report. He's gonna come out, the fire company's been really helpful, and I'll make sure everything can be opened, make sure that, and then they'll come out with the testing apparatus. Most of this cost is, believe it or not, the tests. They've gotten expensive, so they'll take the samples and get the samples to the lab, and most of these are things they turn around in a week to a week and a half for us. So I expect to have those results by your next meeting.
I guess we have to
Yes.
Yeah.
Make a motion.
make a motion to approve this.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Any questions or discussion? All in favor? Opposed?
And we have payment plans are available for residents that need any. Just go up to the borough office. Water and sewer payments are due by Sunday, May 25th. Remember, the office is closed on 26th. And while we've seen an increase in rain, Berks County is still under a drought warning, so try to cut back your water if you can.
Like there are the two items about the joint meeting and vacancies on the authority.
Agenda.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, there's 2 vacancies on the municipal authority. Send letters of interest to the Borough Hall.
Okay, and is there going to be a joint meeting with between council and the authority?
Yes, it hasn't been designated yet. We're in communication with the municipal authority. So we wanted the public to know that it's going to be an open meeting and it'll be announced.
It'll be announced and advertised.
Okay, thank you.
the items we didn't cover. The next on the annual requirements on the MS4 is the outfall inspections, and those will be done between now and early June. We did get the small water and sewer grant in. Washington Street, I have the submittals. We've started the review of those. I expect that to be done this week, and then we'll get with Stacy and Alex. And if they look good at first glance, but we've got to get down in them. If everything's good, that gives us the ability to then go out to bid for the actual work. And at this point, we're still expecting to start in July, towards the end of July with construction. The chlorine contact chamber, I have those for final review. We expect to also be able to put those out to bid next month. So that would be, we're timing that for construction in the late summer, fall, when the treatment plant plugs are low, because we've got to take part of it out of service. And you can see we've had the summary of what Allo Valley and Callowhill is going, are mostly done. We did find we found one slab that does not comply with ADA requirements, so they're gonna have to remediate that, and we're working with the contractor on that.
How much came in with the small water and sewer grant?
That was 400, and it was the amount you guys approved, the resolution. Yeah.
The grant
It hasn't
just
come in,
submitted
it's just submitted, we don't know
for
yet.
Keller Street?
Oh, I
Yeah,
thought you said
No.
it came
submitted,
in.
no.
Okay.
Yeah, we won't know
Submitted.
about it until sometime.
Sorry.
Sometime. Usually 6 to 12 months.
Okay. Old business. Hometown Heroes update. Who is handling it?
The borough staff and the office have taken the liberty of getting some of the damaged banners fixed. So I think right now they have 5 at Leeds, and they're doing a nice job, at least to keep them up that 2 full years. And we only have about 2 or 3 on the next to replace some of the ones that would come down at the 2-year mark. So if you know of anybody who still wants a banner, please send them to the office.
Thank you. And the Topton Borough Preservation Board, we have not had a meeting, and I've been trying to reach Larry, and I'm going to continue. He sent in a very nice page with all his activities. He did not include the balance of bank account, and that's what the Preservation Board is mostly concerned with, so I have nothing to report on that. Right. If there's nothing else, have a motion for adjournment.
I'll make the motion.
1 second.
Any discussion?
There was this one letter here about the bathroom. Did we want to discuss that, or it wasn't during communications?
And it wasn't on the agenda,
Oh,
because it didn't make the agenda.
Okay, all right, so I wasn't sure if that was something.
Nope, that was the second time.
Yeah.
All in favor of adjourning?
Aye.
Opposed?
Yes. Did you read the whole thing? Are you want to volunteer for those fundraisers?
It's a long time ago, that's why I'm gonna make sure you get to do it.
And that's what you like, same people, 23rd of June, so if you have any questions, you come out of the planning commission, is actually.
No, I don't have a problem. I wanted to do we have.
No, we can't get away with her. Can't get away from her.
Right, but it's helping if they know.
Right.
opinion, and if it doesn't,
But I do ask her her opinion.
the letter.
Reduce.
I'd say just a plug. Well, I know,
We just got done with
What
150
we're gonna do
comments.
is, her.
Oh, shoot, that's a lot. Yeah, that's all you guys.
Provide a policy.
Top tip will never happen.
Place and complicated the place.
Thank you, I appreciate it. I'll tell them you're expecting it.
It doesn't
Sorry, I thought you were fine. No, you're fine.
Make sure next time that we customize it. Right. No.
You don't have to worry about it going with July.
It is, yes, they have. Correct, yeah. Customized for.
In front of the,
Maybe they have.
well, I was gonna email it to them, and I will be there till 6, so maybe we should just postpone it till 6. So I'll just, yes, I'm not even sure.
I yelled at him over the request.
Oh,
Not saying that.
it's fine, he's fine. It's just, they're going on vacation. They're going on vacation, so I don't know if that's gonna be Friday night, or I don't know. Like, I have to watch her match, but I don't really remember. So I'm like, oh, she's not home anymore, it's fine. But she may not be there, but Louise will be there.
Yeah.
And the show alters, so when we're, so 6 o'clock, I'll just email.
Obviously,
And the show alters, and see if 6 o'clock is for them to do.
Because I wanted to digest everything.
Which is March 8th.
You know, for
And I
library.
still owe you a meeting with
No, that's okay. We haven't been outed by
Well, it's fine, so you guys have your stuff all ready to go, and stuff, right? Yeah, you were there. They just haven't laid out, I think the briefs will lay out and ready to go. On Friday, because I don't think anybody's.
Well, they're right. No, but what you do is strike out.
And they're gonna get thrown down.
They would get called.
Yeah, we're gonna have space to work with, and we have.
It's
Oh, you know
forever
what?
to find it, because
I might have
give you
thought that. Well, is there a marking on there? Because you can't really get back there.
No, I know, it's just a little red
Yeah.
line.
Yes, and I wasn't
And they
sure.
don't, nothing comes with a manual anymore.
No.
So it took me forever.
Well, I was trying to power it off over here and I couldn't even do that.
And I feel.
Oh, there's a round button here, right there, that has the power?
It didn't go off.
My son's birthday, so.
Oh, that might have stopped it.
On Friday about the lawyers. Okay.
Well, let's just hope we have a recording.
Like, forget about it.
It looks,
Oh, I knew it afterwards.
Yes, I
I figured the screen would go
The
off.
closest
No?
item at a time.
it's supposed to,
It's like.
Okay, well.
I will see you Friday.
so maybe something's wrong.
So